Alright, so today I'm taking a look at this blue, AUXBLUE Bluetooth headset, and well, I can say it actually works really well as far as clarity in both voice, or if you're listening to like YouTube videos, music and things. I like some aspects of it. Some aspects I think maybe could use a little improvement. So included with it you get a small micro USB charging cable, some additional ear caps so you can find the right size for you, the instruction manual that you see there, to language, and then of course the box that ships in. So this unit, you do have a lot of movement as far as the microphone, and you can swivel this so you can use it in either ear, so that's nice. I like that. It's not very heavy. It is a little big, so maybe some people won't like that, but the good part about that is it gives you a little bit longer battery life than you might typically get from a smaller type unit. I like the buttons because they are raised enough to make it easy to touch the buttons, and it's also easy to determine which button you're pressing, but they're not recessed so much like some, which make it hard to fidget with the buttons. And of course you have your button here as well. So you have the ability to turn the volume up and down and navigate tracks. There's a mute button which also works like a pause button, and you have your telephone like answer, hang up, and things like that. There's also obviously more function than that available in the manual. You can read about it, or it's basically the same as you get with other headsets. But what I like about it is that it is very clear, and it does have a pretty nice look and adjustability. What I dislike about it, if I've had to pick some things, is it talks about noise isolation, noise canceling, whichever. And I really don't get any of that. I mean, obviously you're going to have one ear open and one ear not open, so that's going to be a factor. But just judging from one ear, it doesn't do a very good job, in my opinion, of isolating or canceling any kind of noise. And even though this isn't like super hard as far as the rubber, it's not as soft as some of the others. So after prolonged periods, I felt like it was a little bit uncomfortable, but not terrible. I didn't have to take it out of my ear, but I definitely was reminded that it was there because of that. So I'm not 100% sold on that. I think it should be a little softer. The exact charge time is going to vary depending on how depleted the battery is, but about an hour and a half to 2 hours is about right. That's the claim time. There's a bit of a discrepancy between what the manual says and what the Amazon listing states, not by major amounts, but there are some slight discrepancies. But yeah, 1.5 or 1.5 hour, 1.5 to 2 hours, that's going to be pretty accurate on charging time. And I've had this, it's still actually on. I don't know what level it's at right now, but it's still on and still working. I've had this turned on almost continuously since sometime on Tuesday, I believe, or Monday late. But I've had it on for several days, and I've actually been using it off and on, excuse me, and I have medical treatments that require me to sit very still for a long period of time. So I used it non-stop for close to 3 hours for like watching YouTube videos and stuff during the treatment process, and it worked fine for that. Some phone calls, and just having it on, turning it off for a couple of hours, then turning it back on, just running it through some different paces and such. And so it's been on for several days, at least since Wednesday. It's now Saturday. It's still Saturday morning right now, but I mean still, and it's still going, so that's pretty impressive. So 1.5 to 2 hours charge time. The potential is probably going to be, I'm going to say, between 7 and 9 hours, because like I said, there were some discrepancies between the claimed time frame. But it depends on the volume level. The higher the volume, the shorter the battery life. And if you're talking or playing music, or what you're doing with it, it was just sitting in standby. So you're probably going to get 180 to 200 hours of standby time, and somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of talk time. So pretty much a majority of the day, or like a work day, it's going to pretty much last throughout that time frame. So that's pretty good. My only real complaint, like major complaint about it, is there's a voice that tells you, when it's disconnected, connected, and such. What I found really super annoying about it is when I went out of range, it has decent Bluetooth range. It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst I've ever had. But my biggest complaint would be that when I went out of range, it would say out of range, but it just kept saying that over and over and over the entire time I was out of range. I went to my parents' house, left the phone in the car, and walked in and had this in my ear, and the whole time I was in the house talking to them, it kept doing that to the point where I just took it out of my ear because it was very frustrating. Pairing is super fast, super easy, so that's great. So overall, really nice in almost every regard, but a couple of things that are pretty annoying. The mute function is a nice additional feature you don't always get, so that's pretty cool. You can talk to someone standing in front of you or on a different telephone if you have a landline or something come in while you're wearing this, to take that out. So overall, pretty nice, but a little bit of room for improvement. If you want to find out more, you can check out the link below the video. Thanks.